physically represented and like perfect aspect that right now story is like we can definitely get like the two Dragon Balls of some kind of Dragon Balls which is in like also in like the Python subset to like side like and the different with aspects that I'm totally telling you precisely right now but the problem like I'm to like totally like a challenge of like an offer to like that if Goku can defeat like margin aren't those like margin to then aren't to give Goku the final Dragon Ball. Which like I'm going to say any would be like the best Dragon Ball that margin to is currently holding, but actually just Dragon Ball that margin two would be holding with precisely a fake Dragon Ball created by Naruto, especially in the range. This Goku loses to like margin two, then Goku will like some give up like through into Naruto Dragon Balls to Naruto. So they like this whole deal with which like so will like totally chanting Goku was like not of margin two, especially my conversation. So just straight away accepting the challenge that Goku fighting off against MajinDuu, and then Butterfly definitely just Goku definitely to struggle to a certain extent and just like fighting against Naruto. And also putting in that fight like Goku could always struggle very intellectually being able to like one for and defeating MajinDuu, like the initial scenario that I'm and at that point I'm also very if not to defeating MajinDuu, like definitely like I'm so my god or definitely watching such a scenario in which like Goku eventually overpowering and defeating MajinDuu. So like definitely I'm sure I've only prepared like a backup strategy so precisely like a full throw like backup strategy according to our source like our printer only strategies stuff to precisely ensure that like the two Tamagam providers like Goku and like the fighters position like usually ends up in like a good position. Especially my Doraemon. So like I'm considering like exactly like the previous Tamagami fight that Goku and Vegeta for like were like a challenge after like defeating that Tamagami god. Like I'm considering same in a similar manner like Aruntu as well telling Goku that basically the fight is not over and basically that like one more challenge. Goku would be like defeating MajinDuu that Aruntu revealing this challenge and for that challenge I'm supposed to be putting like maybe like I'm supposed to putting for like Aruntu totally I don't know with like some like that basically that basically the first dragon single dragon ball that man is holding it like the real dragon ball like basically at that point like I don't know either like bringing two other dragon balls at that point or like I don't know using her magical powers right there to demonstrate and create like two fake Dragon Balls right in front of like the debaters at that point. And then the recurring to like reveal the challenge to Goku that is you by keeping those two fake Dragon Balls with like what RMC would be like lying as like the real Dragon Ball which like Martin to will be holding and RMC like shuffling all those three Dragon Balls and telling Goku to like exactly find like the character original Dragon Ball within the between those three Dragon Balls. Definitely my possibility and that would be like the second challenge that Arjun will be facing towards like Goku. And Arjun will be like still Arjun will be saying that if Goku even Goku like the second challenge as well, Goku will have like surrendered the two Kame Dragon Ball in like Goku's friend to Arjun would be along the lines like Arjun would be saying. So like I'm just preferring Goku making this choice and basically like I'm so saying like Goku is like around that Goku has not chosen the real but like Goku has chosen the fake Dragon Ball. So like at that point Goku I'm considering Goku probably asking Aruncho that they all look the same like how can I be sure that basically what you're saying with the quote and that basically the first triangle that I chose was like actually fake. So like at that point I'm considering Aruncho probably like a point of strategy telling Goku basically, so basically, if you think that like the real triangle, why you don't you use it along with like your remaining two partners on the triangle? So like at that point, Goku like picking up the precise Dragon Ball among the three Dragon Balls that Goku might have selected and basically placing it along with like the two original Kamigami Dragon Balls of like Goku and basically like Goku trying to summon the dragon, but like it's not happening. And at that point, like Arunto like acting as if like he got stolen her point that basically the first Dragon Ball that Goku had chosen was like a fake Dragon Ball. When in actuality, like all three Dragon Balls in like the second challenge of Arunto might have actually been fake Dragon Balls. So like using the trick, Arunto trying to like trick like Goku and the D fighters into like basically that they're stealing like the two original Kamigami Dragon Ball into taking the two original Tangan triangles from that. It's like a possible, maybe like a remote kind of like a possible event scenario that end of the topic. But like precisely as like Arthur would be doing this and basically that we're tricking like the three fighters and basically maybe like not even Vegeta being able to like see through the tricks of Arthur and basically as like Goku would be about to give up to select to Tamagami disappointed Goku would be like about to give up to select to Tamagami Dragon Ball to so at that point itself like under the brain maybe at that point would be when like Neva would be deciding to like trying to like interrupt them and stop them and basically Neva basically revealing that basically since I never like the person who created all this Tamagami Dragon Ball like I know the fate from like the real one as just a simple plan and like never totally revealing to like the entire Suzuki fighters that basically Aranzo was like trying to procure or basically that like as part of like the first simple Dragon Ball that MajinDuu had brought and this was in fact like which Aranzo had claimed to be like the real Dragon Ball was like the fake Dragon Ball so like all the alternate Dragon Ball as part of like the challenge to that Aranzo get up was like alternate Dragon Ball just fake Dragon Ball so like Aranzo was trying to like procure to like stealing your Tamagami Dragon Ball will be like what the revelation that Neva would be making at that point of like the scenario that it was different and like are so totally being shocked and scared and we like extremely scared and while Goku and the Street Fighter will be getting extremely angry and then rage with like Arunzo trying to kill it. And then they're trying precisely to be at that point that I'm going to be putting like precisely uh, Gomah into like transformed third eye for Pacific form that's exactly showing up to that scene and considering what's actually happening at that exact moment. It's like the initial scenario that I'm just without developing and my president. So that the building at the impression right now that basically aren't just totally lying to the action about the ultimate goal is to be that the supreme demon thing to be really to have like outside world proud on to like the demon real to create the terrifying demon real metal that would be totally aren't so lying to totally hide aren't so pro war since like aren't so as well as glorious pro war totally involves like the abduction of the 10 day. It would be perfectly to hide that from Shin and the fighters will get a fair reason for answer only saying this like the element of the understand. The British is like a glorious like involved with like and like allied with like Armso secretly allied with Armso to like the cave the ultimate goal. Definitely Gloria would be some right now definitely my the intention definitely that like Gloria is definitely someone to like keep on a genuine kind and take other problems with like genuine goals is definitely not a friend. So like definitely, my Bandhiram is that like Arunsu and Glorious like through ultimate goal and ultimate plan and ultimate goal is definitely like the my percentage that I'm sitting onto that basically to be precisely to stop back all the killing trees and revive and restore back all the killing trees for like basically wish to let the dragons to basically have killing trees all over like the demon trail. That would be the one main wish and the second main wish that basically Ansu and Gloria would want to have the future like precisely for Ansu to like undo like the thing that she did in like the past where like she had created like the where Ansu in like the past had created all this stuff that basically resulted in that which precisely was what resulted in like basically the entirety of like the demons in like the third demon god properly being turned into slave by and then that's something and I think like it was during like that or after all it's definitely my best friend but like definitely even that I'm still thinking about the Supreme would be definitely Deborah forcing and threatening to take Arun's life if Arun doesn't obey Deborah and created all those stuff. That's definitely my person and that might be how like the end up of like the third demon world ended up being selected the third demon world ended up being placed. Definitely might and having like with them being forced to like offer money or like your lifespan to like with the brain damaging and all that. Basically, aren't who want to like correct for that. Like aren't who will like they not only feeling guilty and responsible for that fate, current fate of like the and that is the demons in like the demon world as well as like Gloria as well. Especially the Gloria is like actually originally from the third demon world. Definitely Gloria as well would want that absolute freedom for with like third demon world demon thing like the demon world is definitely not doesn't bring it. And also like according to like current circle explorers plan and goal like eventually they will be like only planning on creating like once like eventually by their collective goal which is like eventually have like Aransu herself be like the next brain demon thing and then using that power like for us to like create like a world of like the entire demon realm into like a world of like absolute there are like no divisions between like the first, second, and third demon world can exist and demons could like live and live anywhere they please in like the in all three except the first, second, and third demon world. It's definitely my personal evaluation. So like to remove all that divisions and all that will be like all part of like glorious Arun's like ultimate goal. Once like Arunsu will be becoming like the supreme demon king according to their plan. Definitely my personal evaluation. And in order to like achieve this goal of like making Arunsu the supreme demon king, like what Arunsu would be specifically needing would be precisely like the third item. That's like one of the things that I'm preferring. And so like as for like the second wish that Arms and Glorio might be like the first wish being that lead to like restore back the interest. Like the second wish that Arms and Glorio would be planning to push for using Dende eventually would be precisely to either two possibilities, either to get the third eye and for then for Armsu to like give the third eye to precisely Marvin to and this and so that like MajinDuu will be like so extremely awkward that basically at that point absolutely no one in like the train will be able to like stand against like MajinDuu. So that like Arunsu could rule over like the entire picture of the realm as like the supreme demon king while the demon queen while basically keeping MajinDuu with that power so like the power of the third eye in front to basically without Arjun having to like worry about like anything. It's definitely never in the rain racer. This either those or like Arjun's true goal will be to like precisely use the second wish to like precisely wish for the controlling of like gigas. It's definitely my personal opinion. Since like gigas are like so extremely powerful or fraud and basically so like so it's like regards are like the most or scenes in like the demons in like the adapted in the demon realm like aren't so totally wishing to like be able to like into the dragon to be able to like control the gigas so that like aren't so could like have her own gigas armies to basically so that like aren't so could like totally roll over like as like supreme demon king and not have to worry about like basically anyone even turn to like basically take king aren't so throne like question of like the supreme demon king that way Armsu should like roll over like the entirety of like the human realm and create like actually create according to like Armsu and Flores plan for them to like genuinely actually create like and create a different a totally different human realm of like absolute peace. So they definitely Armsu and Flores ultimate goal of definitely my personal ambition. But like right now the sole reason for like Armsu not revealing that to Shin would be sufficient only because like to achieve all this goal of like Ansu and Glorio definitely like 10 days is the key because like only through 10 days like Dragon Ball like only two wishes would be like possible. And this would be one thing that both Ansu and Glorio would be well now fully aware of. So like in order for them to like have 10 day like basically they would like Ansu would be well now fully aware that basically they have to thoroughly keep silent and basically trick Goku and throw into like basically fighting off against like Goku into like fighting against like MajinDuu and basically eventually throw some trickery to like for Arunsu to like get all three Dragon Balls that press Goku and throw into like that way Arunsu for Arunsu to like get all three Dragon Balls and basically so that like Arunsu and Glory would be totally planning on like moving at after getting all three Dragon Balls Arunsu and Glory would be planning to like move to a certain distance like far away from like the fighters in like the Demon Realm and then for Arunsu and Glory to like precisely uh, and then for like Arun to actually wish for like them like using the Dragon Balls. Like this will be like the plan, and that way so that like and by then like then they will be like stealthily also according to like the plan. Then they also I mean like Glorious will be stealthily planning on like leaving the Z fighters with like that absolute then joining up with like Arun to definitely not with the so like and before like Glorio leaves like according to like the plan of Arunsu and Glorio like they might have planned it accordingly that basically precisely after like Arunsu would be like from at a remote distance from remote and great distance from in like within somewhere in like the demon realm like basically would be wishing for precisely Dende and at that point precisely by the time like that way like the fight to be losing then they like for Gloria to like especially stealthily take the life of like stealthily take the life of Neva so that like the all three Tamakami triangles would be disappear so that like then they would be able to like then eventually once like then they will be uh, growing up to the point that then they would be like able to like create like the Dragon Ball, like at that point, like then they could like have to straight away freely create all the kind of without having the Tamagami Dragon Ball getting in the way. So this would be what like Arunto and Glorious like ultimate master plan. It's definitely my personal memory. So like certainly since like they can't reveal that like their current goal is to basically as soon as possible capture pretend and get sended like they can't reveal this to like Goku and through would be like the precise and sole reason for like Arunto right now would be like only lying about like the ultimate goals to basically become like the supreme demon king and basically create like uh, as if like Aruntu has only a single wish and that is just to become like the supreme demon king and basically since like that would be like convincing enough that basically so like since Aruntu has only a single wish like only a desire for a single wish like Aruntu won't be like desiring for Dende to make it appear as in such a manner like the perfect reason for like Aruntu right now totally dying to sin about like Aruntu wanting to like Aruntu's goal being to like basically create like this terrifying demon real it's definitely my percentage ambition. So like definitely my percentage ambition right now when they even while like already been prepared that how as to like how badly Arjo wants like Tamagami trying to like all three of them get like Arjo right now only casually threatening it to the fighters with like destroying Arjo's own like Tamagami Triumph body. They are just like fight MajinDuu and so casually when talking about like destroying someone like Tamagami Dragon Ball, it would be especially because of that, like definitely because of that Tamagami Dragon Ball, that margin to holding precisely being the fake Tamagami Dragon Ball. Definitely my particular animation that I'm speaking about it. So definitely my particular animation right now is definitely for like eventually definitely to close to totally agree to Vegeta's demands of like rock paper scissors to decide who gets to fight off against that margin. And I'm interpreting like the scenario that I'm interpreting is like I'm being more curious about with the technique Goku getting that professor or gets possessed and Goku fighting off against like MajinDuu. And in that scenario, definitely Goku defeating MajinDuu. Like the eventual scenario, even though Goku would be like struggling his way into like eventually being able to like defeat MajinDuu. Like even while and I'm considering that fight Goku definitely being forced to like turn to like Super Saiyan and even after like turning into Super Saiyan Goku still would be having like struggles struggle to a great extent to be able to like into the overpower and if it margin to like the scenario that I'm considering. But like I'm considering like in the least like the scenario that like Vegeta wins like the rock paper scissors and basically Vegeta gets to like fight off against like margin to then I'm considering definitely Vegeta would be only losing to like margin to that scenario that I'm considering. Even with like Vegeta eventually turning into like Super Saiyan and like fight against Majin Buu. Vegeta is like the ends up being like the first person that gets to like fight off against Majin Buu. Then I'm considering Vegeta would definitely be losing that fight and like all three and that way like all three Dragon Balls like falling into like Arthur's positions. But like at that precise moment would be when I'm preparing Gomah would be like the giant third eye power of the pink Gomah would be showing up. It's like the scenario that I'm considering. And at that point I'm definitely preparing for like Gomah to only or for and defeat all of them like with such ease. It's like the scenario that I'm going to bring and the prepping definitely at that point Goma would be like impressing all of them and Goma would be like also taking back Dende as well. It's like and that way Dende going ending up back in like Goma's position. It's like the scenario where Dende prepping is like it's like also like a possibility where I'm preparing and even if such a scenario happens then I'm preparing still fancy precisely would be like still managing to like hide and escape from like Goma's captivity and imprisonment. It's also like an unusual scenario like I'm looking at like my personal impression that like if that's the scenario then I'm also putting not only like Goma taking Dende back but also like I'm also putting at that point like Goma before imprisoning like Ansu as well as like Majin2 as well as like three fighters like before imprisoning all of them like Goma also stealing like the taking the Kamagami rifles as well operate on the triangles of from that. It's also like anyone with scenario that includes also taking the generation. At that point, like Goma, shortly, definitely Goma would be wanting like definitely not in the generation, but like the even though that third eye would be like Goma's like highest priority, but would like definitely within the generation that Goma would be definitely desiring for more than one wish. It's definitely my vegetarian wish. So like I'm definitely Goma once taking the Kamigami Dragon Balls from sequence to like the three of them like at that point Goma totally exactly like the fight of Goma as well totally naively assuming that basically uh, totally assuming that basically like all three Dragon Balls are like original Dragon Balls without realizing that one of those three Dragon Balls is like a fake Dragon. So that way, like Gomah totally trying to like summon the dragon and like it's simply not happening. And basically that way, like Gomah getting angry and frustrated, and that way, like a whole confusion happening at that point. And it's like the scenario that I'm considering. And maybe at that point, like the fighters telling Goma that basically like what Neva might have told you going to that basically a password is like required, and basically uh, maybe that info about like the password being required to like activate the Tamagami Dragon Ball being most likely a lie by Neva. It's like Neva having some sort of a plan to like eventually go through into like basically being able to like make the best for himself. And at that point, like Neva basically finally deciding to like make the reveal that basically one among the three Tamagami Dragon Balls like a fake Dragon Ball. And basically that way like Goma being extremely triggered and basically at that point like Goku and like the fighters realizing that like Arthur was trying to like trick them in that time with the fake Dragon Ball like and that way like a total confusion like and like a total confusion and like a total quarrel like fight happening between all of them with like an eventual possible scenario that ends the lifting and the generation. So like the playing the generation right now is like mid battle like and the preparing that Goku his like super form like being able to like, do a certain extent of damage. Not a great deal, but like a certain extent of like a tiny bit of damage to MajinDuu. And I'm also bring out that turn from like MajinDuu to like most likely shout out of chocolate. And I'm also bring like I'm too would have totally came to the right spot with like well and fully prepared. So like after might have actually brought like a whole lot of chocolate and I'm going to bring like having to eating all that to that especially at that point for like MajinDuu and basically at that point felt like on consuming like the chocolate like MajinDuu getting that ultimate power boost and basically at that point don't even focusing Goku like having seriously struggling and having a hard time against like the sharpening rates that MajinDuu would be having at that point, especially after like eating those chocolates to like the scenario that I was developing again yeah, like still I'm going to bring from that point on, go to like before having to like struggle a lot in this fight against that MajinDuu, but like I'm eventually struggling his way into like eventually being able to like go up and defeat MajinDuu. It's like the eventual scenario, final scenario that I'm going to bring and I'm going to so like definitely preferring for Goku to be forced to like not to move up from the like current 50% form to like basically uh to bring out the like 50% free form to and bring out like the full extent of like the power of the like 50% free form for Goku to even be able to like finally succeed in that defeating margin basis or like the eventual scenario that I'm developing and that being like that has the like a reminiscent to like really back when like how Goku had basically fought off against like MajinDuu back on Earth, like Goku having been forced to like basically make it all the way up to like 4% reform. There's also like I'm considering such reminiscent situation like happening with like even like the current like to finally being forced to turn into like 3% free. And it will be only at that point that I'm considering Goku will be actually be able to like properly make a comeback and basically start like properly and eventually that way be able to like defeat margin to only at that point is like after turning citizens free. It's like the scenario that I'm going to run again my president. So like the name of the consideration that me for like Neva right now revealing that the third eye provides like unparalleled strength like the name of the consideration that like this that the strength was like unparalleled the name of the consideration that like so back when before all this all the multiple universes existed like before like all the planets and multiple universes existed before like in like the very beginning when like only like the demon realm alone existed back then the supreme demon king even not being like the omni king might have actually to do with like maybe if that initial supreme demon king of like the demon realm back when demon realm was like the only thing that existed like basically that supreme demon king might have totally possessed like the power of like the third eye from the very beginning. It's the of the and that might have been what allowed him to like basically reign over and rule over and like everyone as like supreme. It's definitely not taking everything. So like even like the ancestors of like the current present day Omni King might have been like might have been like subordinates of like the subordinates of that the Supreme Demon King solely due to like the ultimate power of the third eye that Supreme Demon King might have possessed. That's definitely not the consideration. So And personally totally think like eventually for that Supreme Demon King to like basically eventually die, as well as like for like hierarchy to like shift up eventually as like time passes, like basically for like hierarchy to get shifted up, and basically with like the Omni King becoming like ending up being like the ultimate supreme ruler of like everything, and basically with like the demon realm getting like totally sidelined, and the supreme demon king like supreme demon realm having not much of a relevance, whereas like the present day Omni King getting all the relevant champions in reigning over a supreme like and it might have to do with like at some point like that very initial supreme demon king of like the demon realm back when demon realm alone had existed. Like he might have eventually been tricked by the ancestor of the Omni King eventually at some point into like maybe like him losing like the third eye, or like I'm to bring that somehow he might have gotten tricked, and somehow like that ancestor of like Dominic King might have stolen like the third eye, while he might have uh, while like that superintendent might be like asleep or something like basically, and even that nicking as well might have, and stuff like the nicking as well might have totally lost the third eye. So like through such kind of like trickery, I'm considering that Supreme Demon King might have been thrown out of power, and basically might have became like the Omni King that and so like even back then like the third eye might have been even back then lost somewhere in like the Demon realm, just definitely not the direction. So which absolutely no one knew where exactly it was. So like the ancestor of the Omni King from that point on uh, might have been taken as option as like the ultimate role of like not just the demon realm, but like basically the entirety of the universe. But like I'm considering eventually, since like the ancestor of the Omni King had like basically the power to like create universe, like he might have lost interest in like the demon realm, and he might have totally left off to like create more and more universe. It's definitely my question to version. Maybe what might have happened. So like he might have left like the demon realm and created his own base or like a home somewhere in like somewhere beyond all universes, like definitely my person to temperature. So some in like the highest universe, like he might have totally created like his home. It's a pretty thing. I mean, like the ancestor of the Dominic King might have created his home and his base. Definitely my person to, and from there he might have been rolling over like the entire of the universe. It's definitely my person reaction. While in like the demon realm, what might have happened is that basically eventually new with like that on ancestor of the dominating leaving that demon realm like literally and with the death of like the initial supreme demon king, and the supreme new supreme demon king might have arrived. They might have had like powers that were like nowhere even near close to like the ancestor of the dominating back then. It's definitely my personal generation. They're like just like the solely due to like the Omni King being like might have been like not at all properly reflected in real. It might be because of like the Omni King not all being interested in like the demon realm, that basically since then like multiple separate demon kings might have rolled over like the demon realm until like eventually Agora rolled over like rolled over like the demon realm as like supreme demon king. Maybe it might have been during then that basically Agora might have totally accidentally found the third eye from somewhere in like the demon realm. It's definitely my personal version. It might have been either Abura or like Abura's father that might have found like that third eye from like the demon realm. Yet like I'm just like they might have been like totally they might have totally been fond of their demon realm, that they might have totally bonded to like increase the might of their demon realm and stay at their demon realm. They might have not wanted to like leave the demon realm. So that might be the sole reason for like them Abura as well, like basically deciding not to like challenge like the Omni King or anything, especially my considering might have solely to like Abura not being interested uh in like basically defeating the Omni King or anything. Like Abura was like might have been totally solely interested in like staying his like entire life in that set team realm and bettering his like and strengthening up his like team realm, especially my team realm also. So back then, like when Abdurrahman had like the third I remember the generation that Abdurrahman might have had like that unparalleled power that I never right now talking about, that might have been even far it up to like the strength of even like the present day Omni King. It's definitely my personal impression. So that's also like a possible that I'm different. Yet like as already due to like Abdurrahman not being interested in fighting like the Omni King, like Abdurrahman might have scared like the demon realm. It's definitely my personal impression. So right now, my computer episode with like Gomah was like the power of like the unparalleled power of like the like those different things. Definitely, right now I'm definitely preparing for like straight away for like Goku and the fight and Goku and Vegeta trying to like fight against like Gomah. Gomah usually is totally overpowering and defeating them with like the ultimate power of the race, like the scenario that I'm looking. And that way Goku and everyone like even Naruto and all of them getting important, but like precisely once again fancy precisely escaping. And I'm preparing escaping the captivity of Gomah and like Gomah might not even be aware of it and it's really eventually like and I'm considering all of them to be present somewhere in like Goma's palace. And I'm considering then Fancy to like secretly and with like that to infiltrate into like Goma's palace and be like and allow like the three fighters and Hans and all of them to like escape from their present state, like the scenario that I'm considering. And really at that point that I'm considering like the next fight against like Goma would be happening. And at that point, I'm considering Goku would be like something more in like a vertical manner and basically definitely the scenario that I'm considering. And Goku would be like at that point thinking basically that uh, and at that point, Goku would be like thinking more of like a realistic manner where like Goku would be only thinking that basically once again trying to like take on Goma by himself or with Jack him and Vegeta fighting against Goma side by side like basically still won't be like since they have already done that and they would have like totally lost and that way got an impression. So like Goku probably I don't like totally learn from that and basically Goku deciding to like basically deciding to like only Goku essentially coming up with the plan to like essentially use the fusion bug with like Vegeta to like fuse and turn into like Gogeta. So like at that point Vegeta once again totally being against it. And Vegeta once again like in like an adamant manner once again wanting to like fight off against like Goma by himself and basically that extremely confronting Vegeta is what I'm saying around the at that point. But still eventually Vegeta only being having no other option but to like eventually agree to Goku's plan, and that way then using the fusion bug. And I'm preferring it would be not Vegito, but like it would be like Goku and Vegeta fusing into like Vegeta. So like the scenario that I'm preferring. And I'm preferring that fight between like a fight to happen between like a Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta versus like different three Gogeta versus like Goma. It's like the scenario that I'm preferring. So like in that fight, I'm preferring still Goma being like so extremely overpowered that basically, especially because of Goma, the power that are having like unparalleled strength, like still even like the uh, still I'm considering also that the Gogeta to be still the in the tiny form, like especially my considering so like Goku and Gogeta fusing and turning into Gogeta and turning also most like the sensory as well and basically giving it their absolute best and everything they have got against like Goma. Still, I'm considering Goma totally offering them. But like I'm considering eventually like Gogeta totally planning on like a strategy to like precisely that the only way to like defeat Goma would be to, like precisely like remove the third eye. So like at that point, I'm considering like Goku, Vegeta, and like totally figuring out like a strategy and like precisely eventually like attacking like the precise direction, focusing their attack on like precise direction and basically that way like precisely through such a strategical manner like precisely Vegeta basically go from Vegeta's like team like attack like basically precisely the third eye falling off and basically that way Goma like basically turning back to like original self and basically at that point would be like how like Goku and Vegeta would be like only or scoring and Vegeta would be as Vegeta would be like succeeding in doing that like especially the fusion time as well being over. So like at that point those are even though Goku the fusion time would be over like Goku and Vegeta by themselves will be only is able to like only or and defeat like the original Goma. That's definitely my the scenario that I'm considering. That way, Goma being defeated and considering then I'm considering like eventually like the final scenario that I'm considering is like most likely for like Aransu basically maybe like this eventually finally like Florio basically and Aransu at that point like comes into like open through about like all of their goals and plans and like everything and basically eventually at that point like Goku and Pro like deciding to like basically not leave with like 10 day and basically them and that was something either the different to that fourth chaos and or fight with like other third eye processing Doma like basically during that fourth chaos like maybe like never dying between that chaos or like by the time like the whole fight will be over like never due to old age might be like dying, dying and that's the place point and that way like uh, with like Arunchu as well as Loro confessing to Goku and Kuro like basically Goku and Kuro like basically trying to stay temporarily and basically let Dante like create all the Dragon Balls and basically with like Nebard dying like basically the Mega Dragon Balls as well gone and basically Dante basically creating like by then like Dante being able to like create like Dragon Balls. So in a way like at that point I was preparing for Dante to like create all the like Dragon Balls and basically with that like Glorio as well as like Anzu making their two wishes and that way like the Glint is being restored back. And as for like the second wish, like I'm considering maybe like then they totally deciding that like Goku and like all of them by then like Arunso and Glory and all of them would be will be confessing and so they will all be in like good friends like for the fighters and everything. So like at that point I'm considering like them all agreeing to like the fighters skills just to making the like turn them back to like their normal state. Especially because like at that point after the defeat of Gomah, like the rival person right there and basically so like at that point I was considering Florian most likely deciding to like maybe give the third eye to like Aruntu so that like Aruntu could be like the supreme demon king. And that way like Aruntu could use her power to like free all the uh destroy all the cuffs and basically like free the demons in like the third demon worlds from like the slavery and all that. But like I'm considering maybe at that point like Aruntu by then like having maybe like at that point Fancy is probably saying that basically L'Oreal needs to be like disciplined in meeting and so like maybe like Aruncho deciding to like Aruncho as well probably having like a change of mind by then and basically Aruncho probably giving the third eye to L'Oreal and basically L'Oreal being like the next supreme demon king. It's like the eventual scenario of like a possible scenario that involves the bring and my passenger like there's only one positive variable and the other positive variable is for like Nebas to left north side, but like I'm different once like the once like Gomah would be eventually brought down the suffering at that point. Neba basically destroying his own creation of like the Kamehameha Dragon Balls, like Neba totally destroying that so that like then they could like create like the Dragon Balls of in like the demon realm so that two wishes would be possible for like the restoration of little entries as well as like the restoring of like the fighter black to like the original uh, like the other possible scenarios that I'm talking about different in my secondary embracing. Okay, so like definitely my secondary embracing right now as for like the Vegeta was Gomah, right? Like I'm considering straight away Goku wanted to like help Vegeta out because the Goku because unlike Vegeta, Goku really in the sense that basically Gomah's like whole lot seriously is gone right now. Especially my secondary embracing. So I'm considering Goku trying to like help Vegeta out, but like I'm considering Vegeta's pride totally getting in the way and Vegeta totally shouting out at like angrily towards like Goku. Since like Goma just had that whole hype in like those Goku as well as Vegeta's mind for like such a long time. I'm considering Vegeta would totally want to like steal this moment and want this moment for himself. That for like Vegeta to be like that ultimate hero that basically saves everyone by defeating the ultimate villain Goma. So especially because of the Rungi that being pride involved for Vegeta in like him wanting to like defeat Goma before Goku. Like I'm bring Vegeta shouting out at Goku as Goku will be trying to help Vegeta and basically Vegeta telling Goku that like no you can't help me this is my fight and basically I'm bring Vegeta without much delay so basically turning Super Saiyan and basically trying to like chooses everything against Goma. Still like Goma easily like totally offering Vegeta not even being able to like create a scratch at all at Goma's like scenario that I'm looking. So like Vegeta after that like without much delay like transforming into like Super Saiyan 2 form basically even with that like Vegeta not being able to like do much at all like and Goma is offering Vegeta then Vegeta finally bring out this like current ultimate Super Saiyan 3 transformation and with that as well Vegeta being able to like put up a bit more of like a better performance plan just like previous Super Saiyan 1 as well as 2 performance but still like it being possible for Goma to still game like easily or and defeat Vegeta. Vegeta not even being like a proper challenge or like even a warm up for like Goma in the Vegeta was like in during like the whole fight. It's like the scenario that I'm remembering. So that way, Vegeta totally getting his like the massive ego as well as pride crushed by Goma and like Vegeta totally getting badly injured and sidelined. That's like the scenario that I'm doing. At that point, itself, I'm suffering like Goku being extremely enraged and due to Vegeta totally getting so badly injured and basically Goku like straight away heading towards like Goma and in his like Super Saiyan form. It's like Super Saiyan 1 form like basically Goku straight away approaching this fight against like Goma in like Super Saiyan one form is like scenario that I'm preparing. And like even that fight, like Dr. Goku putting up kind of a bit of a fight, but still it's been not Goku still not being able to like Goku being like trying all sorts of strategies and different tricks rather than charging head on, like which would be like how Vegeta would be like totally fighting against Gomah. Vegeta would be like simply trying to like straightforward manner, like without using any proper strategies, like would be totally trying to like bring down Gomah and defeat Gomah using those tricks, but like that will be totally and safely backfiring for Vegeta. So like Goku on the other hand would be like bringing his fight against Gomah would be like getting more of a fighting against Gomah in more of a strategical manner. It's like calculative and strategical manner, but still even that Gomah still like proving to be far too strong to be able to like even fall for such strategies of Goku that Goku will get a big. So then Goku turning into like Super Saiyan 2 and then eventually Goku turning into like Super Saiyan 3 and the Super Sensory Goku putting up like the fight going on for like a certain extent of time, but still considering Goma, still like Goku not being able to create like not at all any sort of like even a remotely significant damage at all for like the third eye possessing Goma's like overall like the scenario that I'm looking and Goma totally usually like totally or and defeating and correcting like even like the Super Sensory Goku's like preventive scenario that I'm looking in that way that the top strongest like two strongest fighters like Goku as well as Vegeta defeated like that. It's like the scenario that I'm describing. So that at that point like I'm considering still King Kadan and his army would be like totally refusing to like just give up. So like them totally charging towards Goma while considering Piccolo on the other hand considering would be like totally losing his like most likely would be definitely losing his morale because of like it's because of like Goku as well as Vegeta so easily being defeated by Goma. So like at that point itself, like it's just King Kadan and his army like trying to like attack Goma, but like straight away Goma usually totally corrupting all of them and basically straight away imprisoning all of them. It's like the scenario that I'm considering. And still sticking to my perspective, I mentioned that like if you would really fancy alone that would be like escaping and would could be fancy escape that would be precisely eventually resulting in like the and that affecting person be fighters and all of them like being able to be free from like 10% state in like Zoma's palace. So also like the eventual scenario that I'm looking at looking to the so like the main looking to the interesting right now like that's the reason for like I'm just like intent to step into like Goma I like before like sending out like MajinDuu as well as my like fight Goma like I'm would probably have to do that actually like aren't so like on currently like seeing like Goma eyes like with like from Goma's like stick and Apple might have been able to like click on right now seeing like Goma with by being possessing like the power of like the third eye power of like ultimate power of the third eye and basically like Goma's like fighting those fighters like basically that Goma's eyes will be like precisely might have only precisely reminded also of like the precise villain stick kind of eyes that both Dabora as well as Adora might have had. It's definitely my personal reaction. So Naruto might have been like a witness to like all the like villainous roles of like Dabora as well as Adora and all that. It's definitely in my personal reaction. And Naruto might have desperately and desperately wanted that change to happen for like the Demon Realm, for like peace to be upon like the Demon Realm. So Demon Realm like finally get it to like peace and basically for like the slavery of the demons in like the third demon world to which like Arun so even to the slavery we have during that extreme guilt within her and which will be what like the Arun so as an explorer will be like really trying to like work towards as their ultimate goal even through like the tricking and cheating of like the Z fighters and stealing their Kamayanis like basically this that would be most likely along the lines that of like the giant book intent that Arun so as well as like Toro will be having to uh, to give that absolute freedom to like the demon realm and bring back peace to like the demon realm and all that. So precisely like in order to do all that basically these realistic eyes of like these rulers that from like the past rulers from like Adora and Dabora and now Goma like by Anto right now is like staring into like Goma's villainous eyes like it is like Anto might be like realizing that like the same villainous eyes that all the previous rulers of like the demon realm had as they like as they ruled over like the demon realm and turned ruled over villainously or like the demon realm. So like Arunsu might have totally taken like for like the brief moment like Arunsu might have totally intensely like staring into like that eyes of Goma might be like Arunsu totally realizing that basically Arunsu would be like right now doing like absolute everything to like especially right now stop Gomah, or else like everything will be like all of like Arundu hope to like basically stop peace to like the trail would be like lost. If like Gomah like right now not brought down, so like this might be the precise reason for that intent speech share by Arundu to like Gomah. The third I also think Gomah like is definitely my talking to impression. So like definitely my talking to impression. So like even with like Arundu precisely sending right now sending out like MajinDuu as well as MajinDuu, and with like the entire the fighters fighting against like Gomah, as well as like I'm departing right now with like Neva approaching like Tamagami one as well. It will be like totally fighting against like the third hypothesis Goma, as well as like for the even King Kadan as well to like not just stand by, but like King Kadan as well as Army as well will be like uh, will be like attacking like Goma, trying to like attack Goma from like a remote distance. But with all of these great number of fighters, like strong fighters, like will be collectively attacking Goma, still it would all be like all that collective attack would be like absolutely no match for like Goma's like current overwhelming and unparalleled strength of like the third eye. It's definitely my secondary American. It should be like Goma would be like far too strong for like all of them to like even handle collectively. It's definitely my secondary American. And precisely because of this reason, I'm also different. Even while I'm talking about like eventually for Goku and Vegeta to like fuse and basically using the fusion bug and turn into like Vegeta, like still I'm also different. It would be precisely like not for like precise one versus one fight that like Vegeta would be defeating Goma, third eye position Goma, but like even though that would be like even though even while being in like the Vegeta form, like even though Vegeta itself would be like only existing within Vegeta, like the Vegeta part of Vegeta would totally want that straightforward one versus one fight through which like Vegeta would want to like even as Vegeta would be wanting to like defeat Goma by straight away using all that brute force and basically straight away being able to like walk for and defeat Goma. But like Goku, the Goku within like Vegeta would be well enough to be aware that that would be not at all possible because of like because of that being how much extremely awkward, severely awkward Goma is the fact about Shota, right? So I'm considering it would be go eventually like since it's like Vegeta like I'm considering Vegeta being forced to like eventually go along with like Goku's plan and basically it will be precisely through like and I'm just for this thing in the revolution that it will get not through like a straightforward attack and following and defeating of like other type processing power processing Goma that will be like eventually resulting in like the defeat of Goma, but like it will be like precisely a strategical move by Vegeta to like precisely remove like the third eye from like Goma using some sort of like a beam kind of attack that would be like causing like Goma to return back to this like a pieces, and that would be like the only way in which like the fighters would be able to like bring down and defeat and stop Goma. It's like the eventual scenario that I'm still thinking on to and I'm going to impression and sing on to. So like that living with the impression right now is that basically like the person making sense that like basically Goma precisely right now targeting like the badly exhausted Goku like trying like the precise beam that Goma would be like launching onto Goku like trying even though right now like the badly exhausted Goku if that Goku takes like a direct hit from that beam that I'm cutting the way Goku is right now I'm cutting like Goku might actually even die like by the overwhelming strength of that beam attack of like Goma. It's definitely never emotion. But like I'm considering the scenario would be like currently like all the other remaining V fighters and everyone would be like probably that might have only got a silent by Goma's like or release point right now. Stephanie member in the Rangers. So like it could be like all up to like Goku by himself to like defend himself against that ultimate powerful attack of that like Goma's right now about to launch on Goku. Stephanie member in the Rangers. So I'm considering right now as like the surprise team would be about to like land on Goku. Like I'm considering for Goku to like definitely bring out the flag so the same three form is definitely my program to be precisely like Goku like right at like that very last second as like that says beam would be like collide would be about to collide with Goku at that very last second Goku bring out the like so the three form and basically defending and destroying that beam away is like the scenario that I'm considering and that from that point on I'm considering either super big black with like Goku already being badly exhausted. Like I'm going to bring with that go to bring out that super sensory like totally once again greatly like taking away all the remaining energies of Goku that like Goku instantly fainting after like destroying that single beam attack, final beam attack of like Goma. It's like one possibility that I'm considering or like I'm considering like bringing out super sensory that final moment might only push Goku to like not only bring out his like Super Saiyan 3, but like maybe like there will be a bit more of like a remaining strength left in Goku. So like I'm also at that point like with everybody else totally getting sidelined, it should be just like Goku versus Gomah and basically Goku Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus Gomah and like I'm totally that point like Goku totally trying to totally give like absolute best and everything against Gomah, but still it's simply not prone to be like no match at all for like Goma's like ultimate running and superior strength. Definitely my dreams and that way like with like one another final attack like Goma only rushing and defeating and destroying like defeating Goku as well. And that way Goku as well that way getting sidelined along with like all the remaining three fighters and everyone like totally being fully defeated by Goma. It's like the scenario that I'm going to predict. So like my secondary impression right now as far as the other possible basically that but like right now Goku in his like Super Saiyan 3 form facing off against like Goma. Like I'm putting precisely that without much delay, like Vegeta as well joining in into like that fight with like his Super Saiyan 3 form as well. Basically, that's also like another possible scenario that I'm looking at on the screen, where like it would be like Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta alone. That would be like that would be like the only one remaining with like everybody else like totally having gotten sidelined from Goma like or means right and like Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus like Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and like fighting as like it's like that teamwork against like Goma and like them doing their absolute best to like put up a great fight, but still like them not being able to. And once again, like Goma totally like it's still not being that much of a challenge at all for like Goma. And basically, Goma still offering and defeating the Super Sensory Goku and Super Sensory Vegeta. It's like in the scenario that I'm going to So like I'm going to then them all defeated, getting into some, and then once they will be escaping, like the Goku and Vegeta will be using the fusion bugs and turning into like not just Gogeta but like Amber and after turning into Gogeta, initially they would be like only fighting against Goma in like the basic Super Saiyan form of Gogeta, which like was another rebel. And eventually after that fight, so like eventually Gogeta bringing out like it's like Super Saiyan and even in like the basic Super Saiyan form of like Gogeta, Gogeta to put up, be able to put up a powerful performance against like Goma than when like Goku and Gogeta would be fight right now. Most likely might be like fighting off against Goma in their individual Super Saiyan form. So certainly my person there. So like still I'm offering eventually in that fight like Super Saiyan Gogeta still being eventually big force have no other option but to like pull out like Super Sensory form. So like that and that being like the ultimate form that would be like really defeating Goma. Like the scenario that I'm delivering, like the Super Sensory Vegeta would be like probably what eventually defeating Goma, but like defeating the through like an actual overpowering of Goma, but still into my personal impression. It would be precisely through the strategy of like attacking, precisely targeting like the attack on Goma's like third eye and that way remove the third eye and basically that way only being able to go for the Super Saiyan 3, even the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta being able to like defeat Goma, only happening in such a manner, it's like same scenario that I'm looking for in my